Ladies and gentlemen, a point here that should not escape us. We should definitely see and know what is going on in this. This is Peter Thiel and Eric Weinstein. Their recent just went up less than a month ago. And we've got this very disturbing, very disturbing thought, which hadn't even ever crossed my mind. It's frightening. This idea is frightening. Listen to this.
Even if it's done maximally efficiently, that it's no longer a good idea.
So he says, when somebody proposes an idea, say to them, okay, what's the minimum amount of violence that you're going to have to use to get your idea done? Whether that's raising taxes by force or whatever it is. What's the violence that you're going to have to do? And once you add that to your idea, it almost always makes the idea look bad. Okay, violence, according to Eric Weinstein, he doesn't give us an example, but he just says, if you add the violence into whatever idea you have, it makes the idea look bad. Okay, that's what his thought.
And I think that this influence, this has been very influential in my thinking. And what I've...
Yeah, look, the visceral problem with communism is not its redistributive tendencies, it's the extreme violence. It's that you have to kill tons of people.
Right, that's the main problem with communism, is all the millions of deaths, right? Right?
You know, there's always a one of the professors I studied under at Stanford, Rene Girard, was a sort of great philosophical, sociological, anthropological thinker, and he had this observation that he thought communism among Western intellectuals became unfashionable. You could date it to the year 1953, the year Stalin died, and the reason was they were not.
All right, so put that in your pockets. So now comes the main thought. Are you ready? This is going to get serious. Violence is the fuel on which communism survives. Okay? Violence is the fuel on which communism survives. Think that thought. Now listen to what he says.
Communists, in spite of the millions of people being killed, they were communists because of the millions of people that were being killed.
They were not communists despite the millions of people being killed. They were communists because of the millions of people being killed. Now, for one thing, if you survived, if you were outside of the gulag, you didn't necessarily know for sure. I mean, maybe your friends and neighbors were disappearing, but you didn't know for sure why, blah, blah, blah. And if you did ask why, you disappeared. So the people who figured that shit out knew that and shut up. So the deaths kept communism going. The slaughter kept it going. It was fueled. It was fueled. It was fed. It was given nutrition by slaughter. And it is not the case that the slaughter is some sort of accidental side ingredient. The slaughter is the main ingredient that makes communism run. So, let's just do an experiment. Let's say it comes to Venezuela. It's going to run and continue to operate as long as they're able to arrest people who are the problem. Now that can go on for a long time. The question is, how long are you willing to believe in it? Decades sometimes, right? So it's the slaughter that it runs on. It's the slaughter that it is its nutrition. They cannot be separated. Communism runs on killing. It runs on slaughter. Now, I'm going to back it up just a little bit so we can get his thought again. And we're almost done. We're done.
It can only be accomplished with so much misery.
Right.
Even if it's done maximally efficiently, that it's no longer a good idea. And I think that this influence, this has been very influential in my thinking. And what I've...
Yeah, look, the visceral problem with communism is not its redistributive tendencies, it's the extreme violence. It's that you have to kill tons of people. You know, there's always a one of the professors I studied under at Stanford, Rene Girard, was a sort of great philosophical, sociological, anthropological thinker, and he had this observation that he thought communism among Western intellectuals became unfashionable. You could date it to the year 1953, the year Stalin died, and the reason was they were not communist in spite of the millions of people being killed. They were communist because of the millions of people that were being killed.
Now, if it comes to America, the intellectuals will be supporting slaughter. Why? Because they think it's accomplishing something. They think they're moving forward towards the Great Society. Kill those Nazis, and then we can move forward. That's their narrative. Make camps and kill them. Get them on trains, centralize them into a certain area, kill them off, and then we can go forward with our great society, with the people who agree. Can't argue with them. They can't be argued with because class, race, etc. There's all these reasons why you can't change people's minds. So you're just going to have to kill them. So when it comes to the United States and they set up camps and they're just slaughtering people to slaughter people, Mr. Cropper told you, Peter Thiel told you, Bard, the French guy, you'll have to rewind and listen for yourself, the French name, told you that the slaughter can't be separated from totalitarianism. They come together. They always come together. Now, I never realized that they come together for that reason, because it runs on the slaughter, because slaughter is its fuel. Communism is believed in because it is killing people, because it is a costly system. It looks like a good thing to a certain type of person because it is killing people. Okay?
Killed. As long as you were willing to kill millions of people, that was a sign that you were building the utopia, you were building a great new society. And when you stopped, it was just going to be like the lethargy of the Brezhnev era or something like that. And that was not inspiring. I mean, people shifted from Stalin to Mao or Castro
See, it's inspiring if you're killing people. That's inspiring. And it's the perpetual war that Orwell offered. Peace is boring. Peace is just boring stuff. It's when war's happening, when you're killing your enemy, that's when you're making real progress. See, the left is obsessed with this narrative. And they have to find Nazis that we can then kill. They're historically illiterate, right? They're uneducated. So they just glom on to the most recent big historical event that they know of, which is it's become like mythology for them. The mythos of the most recent Great War, and the bad guys in that most recent war were the Nazis. So, look for Nazis. Nazis super bad. Must kill every Nazi. See, they just live in the most recent and worst set of history books. They're that shallow and that stupid. That's what the left is. And when they take power, they keep power by killing. It is killing that gives them power. It is killing that keeps them in power. Make no mistake about it. The left are dangerous, and murder is their fuel and their tool. Alright, Mr. Cropper is finished with this video. Please patronize me if you like what I do, and send me links and stuff if you have anything that you think I should go over, and let me know what's the next thing that I should be working on. Yaron Brook and Amy Peikoff, I'll be checking in on their work. Yaron Brook's going to be taking a few weeks off, and so it's our job, or it's my job when he comes back, to make sure he has something to come back to, something nice. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, think about this Patreon stuff. Think about what you could do with $5 or $10 a month, or 20 or 50. Think about what Mr. Cropper could do if a whole bunch of you got on at $50 a month. Think about what could happen. I mean, debates and stuff. I could travel. We could get quite a voice for this. Now, I mentioned in another video running for office, I'm not going to be a politician ever. I don't have any desire to try to convince people. But short of that, maybe what we can do is make it a standard operating procedure that we believe the United States of America is a value in objectivism, right? Or something like that. I mean, what's the ultimate goal? I don't know, but having them badmouth the only great country on the planet today is not a situation that's going to keep going. It's not going to stand like that. So patronize me if you support what I'm doing, and let's make objectivism great again.